with Domain Burn, we're planning on playing here, is all about trying to take advantage of Marriott Outrider. Now, this seems like a weird card to build around, and kinda is, but the main advantage of this card is when this enters the battlefield, deal damage to our opponent equal to the number of basic land types among land types we control. And thanks to the Triome lands, basically the 3-colored lands, it's really not that hard to acquire all the different land types. Now, we are built to be black, red, blue, but that means that we can have the Proving Grounds to give us the green source and Rafine's Tower to give us the white source. Otherwise, we're fine with the possibility of this, you know, more consistently doing about 4 damage when it enters the battlefield, not necessarily the full 5. But it's a 5-drop 4/4 with reach. So even as we play this to the board, it's not the most optimal stats when you compare it to other cards, but our goal is, again, we are going to burn our opponent out of this game. So to help us with that idea, besides the Outrider here, we have some invoked spares, make our opponent sacrifice creature, enchantment, planeswalker. Each one they can't, we get to make them lose life. We draw cards. We have the Maestro's Charm in the deck. Now, we have this as a possible way to just make our opponent lose 3 life and gain 3 life, but it's great for us because it also allows us to deal 5 damage to any creature or planeswalker, so it's great spot removal. And if we need to, it does serve purpose of Desperation Draw, where we can look at top 5 cards, find one of them among them, and add it to our hand. We have the Meathook Massacre to apply a little bit of life loss to our opponent whenever one of our creatures dies. We have Lightning Strike for an extra 3 damage to go to face. So that's all of our burn package. Now, to help support the idea, we actually do have a little, I guess, further burn in the form of Okiba Raid Reckoner, because the first 2 triggers of this saga makes our opponent lose life, we gain life, and then it turns into a 2/2 menace creature. We have Tenacious Underdog. Everyone knows this card, it's everywhere. The 3/2 body for 2 mana is great. The fact that we can blitz it to give ourselves extra damage that can go to face, or just great for the card draw advantage. Running just a couple Blood type Harvesters to give us a little early board presence. The Blood tokens also help out because of the artifact nature, being a great help with soul transfer, because we actually run a fair bit of enchantments. Some Fable the Mirror Breakers, because it's just a great ability to loot, give us the potential treasures to mana fix us since we are 3 colors. And we have the Kiki Jiki combo with Blood type Harvester, Corpse Praiser, but also with the Marius Outrider, because creating copies of this just straight domes our opponent just for the ETB, and then we also have the 4/4 body. So lots of value to be had there. We do have the new Sweeper dragged to the bottom in the deck, because the Domain effect makes this effectively a Languish with 3 different land colors. And every color after that we have on the board, it becomes larger. So we can get this up to a -6/-6 with our deck, effectively killing almost all creatures that are in the format. Very few survive this. But then again, for those very few, that's why we have the purpose of the soul transfers, because we can exile a creature. Then if we happen to have an artifact enchantment, we can bring back any creature or planeswalker from our graveyard back to our hand. Well, that basically covers all of the deck. Oh, I forgot to go over the fact that we have a little graveyard hate with the Corpse Praiser. And we also do use Flame Blast Bolt because of the early 2 damage exile a creature if it would die, or planeswalker, to help hate on the fact that so many underdogs are running around the place. Well, let's jump into games and see how well we do with it. Alright, this seems like a really good hand here. We'll keep this. Got all of our land types that we need. Corpse Appraiser hate on Graveyard, as well as Flame Blast Bolt. Now, Corpse Appraiser is not going to be super great at hating on the Graveyard, since we have, you know, just exile spells primarily. Maestro's Charm does allow us to self-mill. We'll just pass it back to the opponent, see what they do. Alright, let's go ahead and go for the Charm. Look at the top 5. Add Mirror Breaker to hand. Go for said Mirror Breaker. And it'll be the opponent's turn. Alright, opponent gets a Sorin. They probably do the minus. We can Flame Bless, get rid of the Sorin. But I think what we'll do is we'll take the draw first, because I don't mind the idea of maybe just discarding. Yeah, we'll discard this. And we can discard this, actually, because we can use Soul Transfer, get rid of that, attack in, kill Sorin. Okay, I like this. Now, we do run into an issue where we don't actually kill the Sorin here, so if the opponent plays like a Return of Gix, or the Cruelty of Gix, I mean, they can return that from the graveyard back to the board. Alright, Trespasser for our opponent. There goes the underdog. We're going to hit him with an Invoke. Feel the despair, opponent. Okay. We'll get in the attack here. And I'll actually just go for a Raid Reckoner. Now, it's a big if, but if Kiki-Jiki survives, we can bring down the Outrider, do 4 damage to our opponent based off our lands, and be able to send it in for an attack, like make a copy of it, send that in for attack. So we're looking at 4, 8, 12 damage from that alone. And let's see. Do we have enough mana to blitz the underdog? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I didn't think we'd get to keep the Kiki-Jiki, but it would have been great. Alright, let's go ahead and get this to the board. Let's go for the Appraiser. We'll eat their Trespasser from their graveyard. Put one of these cards into your hand. We will obviously take the Invoke. And pass. So next turn we get to Invoke. Unless they attack our hand here. We'll offer the trade with the Appraiser, because I feel like they have Meathook Massacre. So if I blocked with the Outrider, it would have been a X3 there. Let's, get a Blitzen. And miss lethal, because I realized after I did that, I had the ability to actually, I had just enough mana to actually do Invoke Despair and Lightning Strike, which would have been enough. Alright, opponent's gonna hit us with the Despair. But it's gonna be GG's here. We don't even go for a Blitz attempt with the underdog, we just go for the Despair because they may have a cut down. And there we go. Let's see, on the game, we'll go ahead and keep this. Got ourselves a lot of power in this hand. We'll just lead with the black-blue source. Can't think of anything off the top of my head that we ran that would warrant us needing the blue source this early, but I figure we don't have a turn 1 play anyway, so might as well. We'll attempt to put underdog to the board. But, by the way, to answer your question, Hinch, we are doing really well over here. We are playing our Domain Burn deck here, and now I did screw up and forget to adjust lands for our first game. Second game, after I made the adjustments, we played against Mono Black and crushed it really solidly. Let's attempt Mirror Breaker. Hopefully no counterspell. Unfortunately, it looks like our opponent has They pay 2 more counterspell in their hand. Tear that Art's Negate. Yep, there's Make Disappear. So we're against red, white, blue, black, control of some type. Let's just pass it to the opponent. We have lots of interaction on our opponent's turn. We might just use the charm to dig off the top. Oh, it's a Zur deck. Okay. In that case, 5 damage to Zur. Let's appraise some corpses, just in case the opponent has recursion for Zur. Now, this is going to be greedy, but I'm going to take the Outrider. I really should take the Proving Grounds, just that way we have the 5th mana source for playing Outrider, but also so that way we can get the extra burn damage for it entering the battlefield. Alright. Let's see here. We'll go for the Mirror Breaker. Probably going to have to discard Massacre here. Yep, there's another Zur. We have to kill Zur before we can actually target the Binding. No blocks. Let's see. Let's actually discard... discard. I originally did say we want to keep this, but I feel like I need the Corpse Appraiser here. Potentially. But we can also just add it back to hand. So... miss some damage because they can block here. Well, actually, don't miss damage if they blocked because, you know, we can Lightning Strike them. So we'll get to do 2 parts. Add this back to hand. Go for the Appraiser. Underdog's our only legal target, but there we go. Invoke Despair. This is what we want. Unfortunately, we need another black source before we can play it, so hopefully the token survives, so that way we can get the treasure. Hello, Izzy! How are you doing? Have a deck surprise for you later in the stream here. We'll take the 6. And let's see what the opponent does. Yes, you had requested a deck idea to be made, and I have completed a version of it, and want to see how it works. You have news. What's the news, Izzy? Let's see. Let's pass it to the opponent. I want to hold up all the mana because the opponent may be holding on counterspells, and I want to be able to answer the Binding on board. Hit Diamond in Historic. Congratulations! Mono white stuff, huh? Okay, so opponent's going to attempt to put counters. The fact that they're going to give their creature first strike is troublesome. Let's get rid of the Emperor.
Try not to miss me.
Oh, that would be great if you're willing to share. We can show it off to everyone what you used to get to Diamond and Historic. Let's see, Meat Hook 3. Unfortunately, we don't have the answer to that. Now, we can use Invoke Despair, get rid of both of these. I was kind of waiting for the opponent to be tapped out for the purpose of this. Oh, you're a Platinum Tier 1 Inner Sword. Nice, hench. Almost a diamond there, huh? Let's see. So, a Corpse Praiser enters. Corpse Praiser in our graveyard is what we exile. We'll grab the Xander's Lounge here. Now we have the mana base that we can play Invoke Despair without needing to sacrifice. Going to attempt the attack with the Appraiser, see what the opponent does. Alright, opponent does nothing. Attempt Outrider. Who knows? Maybe that's what Hench needs to help them push the to Diamond. All right. So Outrider's great for us just because it does allow us to block the Rafine. All these companions aren't bad for us if they're sitting on the board because we can just meat hook like X1, get ourselves some life back. Get a block. Alright. X1, meat hook. Get rid of all the companions. Well, I know you said, Hench, you were making elves, and elves are probably going to help you climb really well there. Okay, so we get a hit in for 5. Gonna go for a Corpse Appraiser to the board, instead of going for maybe like Lightning Strike to push pressure. I'm surprised they didn't use Make Disappear to stop our meat hook. Because if they had used this, sacrifice a companion, they still would have had a companion to block for them. And we wouldn't have been able to gain life back. Leyline of Binding for our opponent. Yeah, Elves is actually quite the pile of cards you have to make it work. Okay. Well, that's a GG situation because we play Outrider, deal 3 damage, and we win it. We actually took down Xur the Enchanter in a slightly dicey method, but the burn actually worked out. Okay, this actually seems like a pretty good hand. Go Proving Ground turn 1. Turn 2, we can play the Swamp. Get ourselves a Blood-Tithe Harvester. Now that I'm in Diamond, I can mess around and not care if I lose. Well, yeah, I mean, you already are at the point where you're high enough ranked that you'll get the better rewards for the end of season. Unless you want to push for the Mythic. Alright, we're against Mono Black again. You know, I'm actually going to lead with Underdog. Because Underdog has the ability that if they do kill it, we can bring it back with a Blitz. Yep. Let's go for... You know, I feel like our opponent's just going to exile our Underdog. So let's exile it ourselves. Oh, I put down the wrong land. Never mind. We are not going to exile it ourselves. Alright. Another Underdog to the board. Half the month is left. Why not push for Mythic? Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so like I thought, our opponent did have a Trespasser. And I was thinking I should... You know, make sure to exile it ourselves with our Corpse Appraiser, but I accidentally forgot this is black, red, green. I meant to put down the island for the Corpse Appraiser. Gotta love once when you're, like, going to play around your opponent and fail. Alright, let's send this in. I know the opponent can activate that. But if we Flame Blast Bolt, get rid of it, we'll deny the opponent a lot of card draw. And this time, we're going to properly Corpse Appraise our own underdog. Grab the Invoke Despair. Oh yeah, that's another thing I need to do. I'll do that in a little bit. Alright, so we can't play the Despair this turn. Any other creatures in graveyards? I don't think there is. So let's just go for Rafine's Tower to the board. Play the Bloodtithe Harvester, just that way we can keep it during the day. I was debating, like, maybe I cycle the Lounge. Let's see, not sure if you want this, but if... Let's see, what? Oh, sorry, let me... interaction here, Invoke Despair. Give up the Harvester. Let's see, so back to your comment. Not sure if you want this, but what I want is each ranked queue be a different queue. So for example, you could be Diamond 4 in Historic, but Plat 4 in Standard. Oh, I get what you're saying. One of the things you're hoping Wizards would allow is for us to be able to get rewarded more based off the format we're playing in. And in all honesty, I sort of understand where you're coming from on that. And I do have a slight agreement with that mentality, because a person who chooses just to grind in one format can bring themselves up to a rank. Alright, I'm going to go for the islands, so that way I can play Mirror Breaker here. But as I was saying, they could grind themselves up in a format and get the rewards, even though they don't necessarily, like, they are playing in a way that I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. Yeah, I mean, it does mean that there would be more grinding, but it's actually, how I look at it is it's more grinding opportunities for a person to get more free rewards. It's bad for their business model, in all honesty. Do I play around Cut Down? No, I go for the blocks. Alright. Hit them with an Invoke Despair. Get ourselves some draw value. And it'll be the opponent's turn. I decided to hold all the cards. Man, we're just going to get despaired out of this game, because that's despair number 3 for the opponent. Alright. Let's go for a Corpse Appraiser to the board. We'll take away our... No, opponent's Trespasser. Grab Lightning Strike. Land to board. Harvester to board. Next turn... Potential lethal? Because we can Lightning Strike for 3, brings them down to 7. Alright. Meat Hook for our opponent. So they're going to gain some life. Alright, Liliana for our opponent.
When I... You're telling me what you know about I'm tired of your
The
secrets.
discard this. Decide not to fire off the lightning strike. So we only get one draw. Go for underdog. Gotta try to keep putting things back to the board, so that way we don't die to their 4th Invoke Despair if they have it. Also, you know, prevents them from blitzing in an underdog and just getting in damage. Oh, Shouldred's bad. Putting a stop on my upkeep, just in case they grab Shouldred. I also think there should be a mythic pack for... Yeah, I think there should be mythic packs for all sets. Oh, actually, that would be also one of the things that would be kind of cool. It's like if you could get a mythic pack reward that rewarded you based off the format you're in, so you actually get format like related cards. All right, bring the opponent down to 4. I decided to hold the land because we have the blood here to discard draw. If we can hit our Outrider, we can get the win here. Let's see here. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's tap this. Discard Rafine's Tower. No, we fail. Alright. Raid Reckoner to the board. Force the opponent to have to block. Pass it to the opponent. Opponent's at 5, so still top decking our domain creature, because we haven't come across a single copy of it yet. And we're in the bottom 28 with 4 copies in the deck. We should be able to find it.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me. We all have things we'd rather forget.
Alright, Blitz. Kill Sorin. Fable. Representing lethal to board. Because we can blitz 3 here. So yeah, they're gonna make a sacrifice.
One of your friends has to leave.
Do we have... We actually do have something in our graveyard. Let's discard this. Still can't find it. Alright. Let's get rid of this. Get back Corpse Appraiser.
Fine. I'll take my zombies and leave.
Appraiser to the board. Get rid of Shieldred. No recursion for them. Find the Invoke. So we have lethal. I don't think there's a way for our opponent to survive here. We'll offer the GGs because they've just played a land. We're representing lethal on board. If they do actually have a sweeper, we just invoke Despair and kill them. Okay, so I don't invoke Despair. Triggers go after the loss of life, so yeah. There we go. I had to think that for a moment, because I was worried that if I use the Invoke Despair, do I accidentally kill myself because of the draw triggers? But no, they hit 0 state first, then the triggers would go on the stack. So triggers never actually are a thing there. Alright, this hand's a little awkward, but I think it's still keepable. We'll try it. The reason why it's awkward is because we have the soul transfer and we're actually missing the black sources for it, but Fable of the Mirror Breaker does a great job of usually helping us find, you know, the card options we want. Alright, we're against blue of some type. We'll go ahead and play another black source to the board, pass it back. Opponent's going to consider something. Yeah, I think we're against maybe mono blue tempo here. In which case, this more than likely just gets hit by a counterspell. Yep, there's a negate. Alright, Mountain, pass it back to the opponent. The issue with the deck we're playing against is they just run a ton of counterspells, as well as these cantrip type cards, where they, you know, play a spell, draw a card. And their 2-win condition is the Djinn that flies with power equal to number of spells in their graveyard. And the other one is the 5/5 hexproof creature. I'm not hexproof, but ward creature. Yep, there it is, the Tolarian Terror. And the issue is they hold up mana to still counterspell us. Well, let's start going for some Outriders. If they let this resolve, we get to hit them for 4. And if they counterspell it, we're just eating away at those counterspells. So we can maybe get a soul transfer off to get rid of the Terror. Alright, the Johnny seems like a great card to add to what? I'm confused. Oh, you're gonna clone your mono white deck and add green to try to go for the Johnny. Which one? Is Great Hearted the newest one, or is that the slightly older? Well, that was not what I was trying to do. Let's see if we can exile this. Alright, we've managed to fight our way through the counterspells. Does our opponent have another counterspell? Let's go for another... I need to quit clicking that button. We attempt another... Alright, we get it. Sorry, I don't have that add-on. 4 mana, 5 loyalty. Oh, okay. War the Spark one. Yes, I know that one. That one gives all your creatures vigilance as a passive. And then allows you to put +1/+1 counter. No, I don't have it yet. I don't know how to get that one set up. I don't know which what the name of it is that people use is my issue. I would like to get the add-on set up, but I just don't know what it is. Alright. We'll pass it back to the opponent. We're going to hold up Maestro's Charm for once when they try to put a creature to the board. Alright. Let's attempt to just start burning the face a little. I say a little bit because I want to hold up enough burn to still take down the Djinn if they bring it down. Yeah, that's the one I was figuring you're talking about. Now, the thing is, if the primary reason why you'd want to splash green, by the way, is so we can play Coco. The Johnny probably wouldn't be terrible, but I don't think it's going to be super amazing for your deck. But the Coco's the card that'll break your deck. If you're not sure what I mean by Coco, it's called Collected Company. It allows you at instant speed, grab 2 creatures from the top 6 of your deck, and throw them straight into play. If you have 4 Coco, I would recommend it then. Okay. I have a habit of making sure to explain the card, just in case. Alright, opponent's doing a lot of draw digging here. Eventually they'll play the Jin, and it's just going to be so powerful that we're going to have problems. I'm going to cycle right now. Alright, there's another soul transfer. That's good. Opponent's down to 5. We actually could just threaten lethal by getting a Maestro Charm or a Lightning Strike to land on the opponent's face. Alright, there's the Jin. I don't actually target the Jin, I actually go for the face. Really, actually, I shouldn't have played Maestro's Charm because Make Disappear counterspells it. Should have just gone for the face with the Lightning Strike instead. Let's attempt the Lightning Strike. Okay. How many more counterspells do you have, opponent? Because I have to do this, unfortunately. Strangely enough, I only ended out with 2 red sources. If I had more red sources, I'd potentially be able to Flame Blast Bolt, get rid of the Jin. Alright, they're gonna march, and yeah, that's gonna be GG there. Oh, that's such a shame. We didn't hit any of our creatures. We sat there on all this control magic, and Meathook Massacre is just kind of a dead card to us. They did so much draw because we couldn't do anything to pressure them. Alright, we'll keep this. Let's put a +1/+1 counter on all your creatures and 1 walker. Oh, and walkers cost 1 less to cast. Oh, okay. So I didn't remember that correctly. There's just so many cards, it's hard to remember them all. Alright, we'll get the Raid Reckoner to the board. Our opponent's got a lot of hand disruption. But to be honest, I'm not too worried about being forced to discard these since we get, you know, redraws. Alright, opponent missed a land draw. Let's appraise our own underdog. A lot of land. We'll take the Proving Grounds. See, not sure if the Phyrexian Walker. Well, the Phyrexian Walker, it's not for your build. That's for certain. It's not a bad card in the slightest. Let's go ahead and get rid of this underdog. Let's play out Proving Grounds. We'll send the bodies because we can get the 2/3 because of the Menace. I mean, the Phyrexian Walker is just more or less what it is. It's just it's the new gimmick. Alright, we're going to Blitz, just so we can get the card draw. We have too many lands in hand. At this point, if the opponent actually does find something decent to rip out of our hand, I'm not going to feel too bad, but it's all lands. Alright. Blitz. Attack. Kill one. The nice thing is all the Phyrexian Walkers, for the completed stuff that they've gone with so far, like Tamio and this new Ajani, I feel like they actually did them a decent treatment with how you can Wow, the lands. Anyways, case, I was gonna say I think they did a decent treatment on them with the ability. Wow, the opponent's just gonna take it. All right. They're afraid of another burn spell. I think they did a good treatment with the choose to pay 2 life, but start with less loyalty to get them out faster, or for cheaper, I should say. All right, here we go. Opponent, please take 5. Now I feel so much like I'm beating on someone that just can't defend themselves because they spent this entire time only on 2 lands. We'll take the lightning strike here, and yeah, opponent has scooped it up. To cover the deck idea here for domain burn, we ended up as a final score going 4-3 with this. It was a lot of fun, and I don't think this one's going to be like a super competitive deck here. But I do like a lot of how it functions, and playing around the idea of just going with this common to build around. The payoffs on Outrider was really cool to see once when we got them off, and while we didn't get to see it, you know, go with the Reflections of Kiki Jiki combo, because most of the time, as anyone would, they kill off the Kiki Jiki right away. But we actually played against Mono Black multiple times, and just crushed the deck, so I'm surprised at how well we did against that, but we are just a control deck for the most part, so I guess it's not too surprising. And the deck that we had the most trouble against is Mono Blue. We came across that one twice, and that was 2 of our losses. One of our losses was just from being completely shorted on mana. But I think this is just a fun deck, and if you have the ability to like craft it, you don't have to actually use the Outrider. You can change this to any other card. But I think it's a decent deck to play. Like, the basic core of all of these cards are really solid. So, just that alone will work for you.
Thank you for watching the video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more content. If you'd like to join me while I stream, you can find me on Twitch, the link below. I hope to see you again in the next video, and have a nice one.